mission one complete to get the train going around the outside of the layout. Just completed. As you can hear, it's a bit noisy. It was an eBay purchase and I think it needs a bit of TLC. As I've said before, it's only running on DC at the minute. It will be a DCC layout, but I was just really keen to get something moving around the layout. Here she comes. Shunter from YouShunt. It's become obvious that I'm going to need quite a bit of small power around the layout, so I'm going to run 2 twin sockets either side of the layout, and obviously there'll be more down the end where the command center and workstation is going to be, probably with some USB charging points and stuff. So that means I'm going to run 240 volt all the way around, and I really want to contain all the wiring, make the wiring accessible. So I think I'm going to mount some 2-inch cable tray all the way around, and then have some kind of cover that hangs on the top. So if I need to access the wiring, I can just lift the cover off and everything will be there that I need. Of course, I'll still have stuff going under the boards, which I can look at with an inspection lamp, but this will keep everything visual there. Should I need to add anything, 12, 3-volt power or anything else that I need to do. So I'm going to offer that up now. So I'll have to space it up off the baseboard so that I can get cable ties and Velcro fixings, whatever I decide to use on there. I'm also going to have to run data, and I want to keep the data away from the power to reduce interference. First thing I'm going to do is paint that fascia black. Okay, that's done, and I've painted the inside of the baseboards, the faceplate, and maybe an inch or so on the top in black paint. And a little change of plan, or a couple of changes of plan actually. I've decided to put the cable tray underneath, and I may even put 2 there, so I'll have one carrying the power, 12 and 240 volt, 5 volt, whatever I need, low voltage. And then run a second one underneath for any data cables for points, anything else that I decide to put on the layout, signalling, and. Also, I've changed my mind with the sockets. I was going to put some of these metal clad sockets, but they stick out quite a bit. And while I was just painting that, I thought I had a better idea, and I remembered that I had loads of these actually, which 240 volt flip top sockets. I'll bring it a bit closer, you can see. So 3-pin UK plug with the neutral, live and earth terminals on the back. and they then have a gasket that goes on the inside, and you click the flip top into place. That's upside down just on that one, great, that way. And then you've got a much slicker, so they can be recessed into the baseboard, but they will need a carrier plate. So I made a face plate which is made out of 3mm matte black acrylic, and what I'll do is cut an aperture into the baseboard face, put the backing plate in place, and then these will simply push into place, and internally they've got 4 small bolts or screws that fix them to the face plate and then in onto the baseboard, so that they're then secure. I can then wire them from the back and run the cable all the way through, and have it basically set up probably like an extension lead, if you like, with 2, 4, 6 of these, how many ever I need. I'll have to do some calculations on that. And also what I can do, that I do plan, or I need to prepare for the fact that I may have to move this layout, or, you know, maybe in one day, an exhibition or what have you. So I'm going to make it that all this stuff plugs together and is removable. Not quite sure how all that's going to work yet, but it is something that's sort of whirring around in the back of my mind, and everything is done with half an eye on that. Again, may never happen, don't know, let's see. So what I'm going to do is put some of these around the inside and get some 240 power, which is going to be useful for vacuum cleaners, whatever. I'm going to soldering irons, whatever, yeah. So I'm going to get on with that. But what I'll also do is show you the laser cutter that I've used to make this backing plate, and we can have a look at some of the other things that I think that's going to come in really useful for. This is the design for the back plate for the socket. I'm then going to cut that out in 3mm matte black acrylic, and this will give a backing plate, and these can fit within the cutout and be secured to the layout. These have a protective film over the top, which you remove on both sides to reveal the actual finish, which is a matte black. Then these, there's some gaskets that fit on the back of these sockets. Sockets then bolt to the plate, so. This leaves the terminals free on the back. Got an aperture in the baseboard. Fix it in the corners. And then we've got 240 power for plugging anything in around the layout. Great tool, but very noisy. Right. Oh, by the way, got to give credit. The guy that drew these up for me is a good friend of mine, Tim. I'm sure will be watching. Okay, so this has a rubber gasket. The gasket then goes on there. This then clicks into place there. And then these screw into place, screw inside this cover, and then that should give us some quite slick and low profile 240 power around the layout. Been some progress on the command center workstation. I've just filled the top of this. I'm going to sand this down and paint all this up. I'm going to need some sockets in here, and I may make this a floating worktop. So get rid of those legs and put some arms underneath. Again, not quite sure on that, but where I've just put that cable tray, left to right, I'm going to have cable tray and data tray coming all the way around, and it will meet in this one central point. So somewhere down here we'll probably need a data rack as well. Again, these are all little plans that are whirring away in my head. And then everything control wise there, you know, any points, any lighting switches, you know, anything else I can build into there as one control center.